Welcome back to the deep dive. Ever been in a massive airport and just wondered, how does this place even work? How do millions of people connect every day? How do they handle sudden storms or flight changes? Well, it's not magic. It's largely down to something called the Airport Operations Management System, or AOMS. That's the digital backbone. And today we're doing a deep dive into the huge global market for these systems. Our mission really is to explore where it stands now, where it's headed, and the growth is pretty astonishing, and pull out some key insights from a comprehensive market forecast we've looked at. Seriously, some of these numbers and the regions leading the way might change how you think about air travel.
That's absolutely right. And when we talk about AOS, we're really talking about the sophisticated nervous system of a modern airport. It's not just one piece of software. It's like a whole suite managing everything: air traffic coordination, baggage, gates, even security flows. Understanding this market really matters because, well, it directly shapes the efficiency, the safety, and just the overall experience of global travel for all of us. What's fascinating here is that these numbers we're about to unpack, they aren't just abstract figures. They really show major trends in how airports are being managed and how they're evolving, to meet these incredibly complex demands.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's kick things off with the big picture, the global numbers. The ALMS market back in 2021 was valued at 3,083.04 million. Pretty substantial, but that's just the starting point, really. By 2025, it's projected to climb to $4,121.6 million. And here's where it gets, well, really significant. By 2033, the forecast is an astounding 7,366.11 million. That translates to a global compound annual growth rate, the COGR, of 7.528%.
Yeah, and to put that into context, that's not just steady growth, it's rapid acceleration. It signals a really fundamental shift in how airports worldwide are investing in their core operations. It tells us that decision makers, they increasingly see these advanced digital systems not as a nice to have, but as an absolute necessity. We're fundamentally moving from sort of reactive management, fixing problems as they happen, to proactive, intelligent operations. Think about it like going from, I don't know, relying on walkie-talkies and paper checklists to using predictive analytics for gates, maybe AI for baggage handling, real-time resource allocation, all aimed at cutting delays and boosting throughput. It's really about building smarter airports, not just bigger ones.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Building
Yeah.
smarter. Okay, so with that global growth picture clear, let's zoom in a bit because, like you said, the growth isn't uniform. Some regions are really hitting the gas. So where is this growth hottest?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? And when you look at the data, Asia Pacific clearly stands out. It's got the highest growth rate. And it makes you wonder, right? Is this just Asia Pacific playing catch up, or is there something more fundamental, maybe a more proactive strategy behind their aviation development?
The data certainly suggests something big is happening there. Aggressive expansion. Asia Pacific is projected to grow from about $564 million in 2021, an impressive $1,546.88 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 8.775%. Really strong. And within that, China's a major player. CAGR of over 9%, expected to hit $423 million by 2033. And get this, India actually tops the growth charts, an incredible 9.727% CAGR, growing from around $71 million to over $218 million. Southeast Asia is also very strong, 9.35% CAGR. Plus, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore all showing promising figures too.
Yeah, the sheer speed of growth in Asia Pacific, particularly China and India, is remarkable. And it's not just about updating old airports. In many cases, they're building brand new infrastructure, what we call greenfield airports. This lets them integrate AOMS right from the start, essentially leapfrogging older tech. They can implement highly automated systems from check-in to turnaround. You've got rapid urbanization happening, growing middle classes, huge tourism booms. All that translates directly into needing more efficient, tech-savvy airports. It really makes them powerhouses for this whole AOMS market.
Right. Meanwhile, if we look at North America, it doesn't have that same rate of growth, but it still holds the dominant market value. That's just something about its maturity, right?
Yeah.
It's projected to go from $1.3 billion in 2021 to over $3 billion by 2033. The U.S. is still the giant here, growing at about 7% CAGR. But Canada is showing strong growth too, actually over 8% CAGR, reaching around $287 million. And Mexico shows consistent growth as well, hitting over $186 million by 2033.
Exactly. And the implication there, with North America leading in value despite slower percentage growth, It shows a very mature market that's still expanding, but focused heavily on optimization. The challenge there isn't so much building brand new airports, it's more about enhancing these huge, complex, existing networks. It's about integrating new tech with sophisticated systems already in place, managing some of the world's busiest airports, dealing with legacy systems, optimizing capacity in places where, frankly, there isn't much room to expand physically. So you could say while Asia Pacific is building new digital foundations, North America is expertly refining the ones they have.
Okay, that makes sense. Different challenges, different focus. Now let's hop over to Europe. We're seeing steady, significant growth there too. The market was around $662 million in 2021, projected to hit almost $1.5 billion by 2033. Germany looks particularly strong. You see by nearly 7.8%. The UK is also a key player, expected to reach over $208 million. And then you got France, Italy, Spain, all significant contributors as well.
hmm Europe's role reflects its, a very established, highly interconnected aviation network. The growth there probably isn't driven by building massive new hubs as much as enhancing efficiency, improving passenger flow, integrating advanced tech into existing, sometimes quite old, airport infrastructure. They're really focused on smart growth, optimizing capacity within a mature market. Leveraging AOMS is crucial for managing complex flight schedules, especially with all the cross-border traffic. That's kind of a unique challenge for them.
And it's not just these main regions, is it? The
Yeah.
growth seems pretty widespread. South America, for example, growing to over $524 million by 2033. Brazil leads, but Argentina and Chile have KGRs over 8%. The Middle East, too rapid adoption, expected to hit over $428 million. Saudi Arabia is a key market there. Turkey showing strong growth, over 8% CAGR as well. And Africa, starting from a smaller base, but still projected to grow to over $350 million by 2033. South Africa is the largest contributor there.
Yeah, what's fascinating about the growth in these other regions, South America, Middle East, Africa, is how it really highlights this global push. Everyone's modernizing, expanding aviation capabilities. In a lot of these places, you see big infrastructure investments linked directly to economic development goals, to tourism growth, to just being better connected globally. Take the Middle East, for example. Their strategic goal to become major global travel hubs is a huge driver for adopting advanced AOMS. They're building capacity for just massive passenger and cargo volumes.
Okay, so these numbers are really eye-popping. Investment happening everywhere, from the established giants to rapidly developing areas. But let's get to the why. What's actually fueling this global race for smarter airports? What does it all mean?
Right, that's the core question. And the source material we looked at points to three really critical drivers that are working together. First is just rapid infrastructure development. And like we touched on, this isn't only building new terminals, it's designing smart airports from the outset, or heavily retrofitting older ones. AOMS gets baked in everywhere, optimizing baggage systems, managing aircraft movements more efficiently.
So it's the intelligence built into the infrastructure, not just the physical structure itself.
Exactly. The second driver is significant technological integration. This is where it gets really cutting edge. We're talking about the explosion of IoT, Internet of Things sensors. They provide real-time data on everything, like runway conditions, where planes are, even how long security lines are, or if a restroom needs cleaning. All this data feeds the AOMS, allowing for things like predictive maintenance, putting resources where they're needed dynamically, solving problems before they cause big delays. It's also about using AI for prediction, machine learning to optimize how people move through the airport, and of course, robust cybersecurity to protect it all.
Wow, that sounds like a quantum leap from how things used to be run. And the third driver?
The third one is, well, pretty straightforward but hugely impactful. Ever-increasing passenger traffic. As more and more people fly, especially during peak times or when disruptions happen, the sheer volume can just overwhelm older manual systems. AOMS is crucial for managing that congestion, speeding up aircraft turnarounds, dynamically reassigning gates or ground crews when things change unexpectedly. It's not just about managing the flow, it's about optimizing every single resource, every gate, every staff member, every minute, to make the experience smoother, safer, and more efficient for everyone involved, from the flight crews right down to you, the traveler.
So there you have it. The airport operations management system market seeing huge global growth, driven by that smart infrastructure development, incredible technological integration, and just the sheer number of us taking to the skies. It's a really fascinating glimpse into the hidden systems making our travel smoother and more reliable.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Yeah, and what's truly fascinating to think about now is how will this push for smarter airports not just make our own future trips better, but how does it reflect this wider global investment in connectivity and economic growth? Will we actually see fully autonomous airport operations someday? How might these aviation tech advances influence other areas like, say, rail networks or even how we design smart cities? It definitely leaves you with a lot to chew on regarding the future of aviation tech and its ripple effects.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Okay, so today we're tackling something, well, fundamental really. How do airports actually work? These incredibly complex, sometimes chaotic places. How do they get that feeling of seamless order?
It often doesn't feel seamless from the inside.
Yeah, true. But behind the scenes, there's a system. We're diving into airport operations management systems, or AOS. We want to unpack your sources and really see what makes them tick.
Yeah, look at the dynamics, the challenges, and honestly, some really cool innovations happening.
Exactly. And this stuff matters to you, the listener, because these systems, they're behind everything from how smoothly you get through security to, those last-minute gate changes. Yeah. Or why your flight's delayed.
Absolutely. And what's really striking, I think, is just how critical they are now. These aren't just like fancy spreadsheets. They're fundamentally changing the whole travel game.
Modernizing it.
Totally. From check-in, baggage, everything. It's all aimed at making things run smoother and hopefully keeping passengers happier, optimizing every single step. And that's the real core challenge, isn't it? It's not just more people flying, though there are tons more. It's the sheer complexity of coordinating it all without everything grinding to a halt.
Right.
You've got to dynamically shift gates, optimize runway use, route bags efficiently. It's this constant juggling act to maximize flow and, crucially, minimize those expensive delays.
And layered on top of that, you have huge pressure from regulators. Think IAO, the FAA. They have incredibly strict rules.
Oh, yeah. Standards for everything. Turnaround times, how incidents are reported.
Exactly. And modern AMS are basically essential for that. They provide the real-time data, the proof, the documentation, helping airports stay compliant and, frankly, manage operational risks much better.
It's not just about planes and people moving around either, is it?
Yeah.
We're seeing serious integration with the Internet of Things, IoT.
Definitely.
So like sensors predicting a jam on a baggage belt before it happens,
Yes.
or smart bathrooms signaling they need cleaning based on actual use, not just some fixed schedule.
It shifts the whole approach from reacting to problems to actually predicting them, proactive management, which boosts maintenance, service quality, everything.
But okay, even with all these benefits driving adoption, it's not always easy, right? What are the big roadblocks airports hit when they try to bring in these advanced systems?
Well, the first one is usually money. Simple as that.
Yeah, the costs. Implementation, customization, it's significant. You're talking software licenses, trying to make it work with sometimes ancient legacy systems.
Big infrastructure changes, too.
Right. And for smaller airports, maybe regional ones, that upfront cost can just be a non-starter, even if they know it'll pay off eventually.
And then there's the tech challenge itself. How do you get all these different systems talking to each other? It's incredibly complex.
The integration nightmare.
Totally. An AOMS needs to connect to the flight displays you see, security networks, the airport's main financial and HR systems, that's the ERP.
Plus airline systems, air traffic control, it's a huge web.
And often the problem isn't just connection, it's that they speak different languages, different data formats, protocols, getting them to actually share information effectively. That causes massive headaches and limits what you can actually do.
And it's not just tech hurdles, there's the people side too. You often get, well, resistance.
Oh, for sure. Stakeholder pushback.
Yeah. Introducing new systems means changing how people have worked for years, sometimes decades. Airport staff, airlines, ground crews, security, everyone's affected.
And if you don't have really good user support, solid training, that resistance can really undermine the whole thing. People won't use it properly or at all, lots of friction.
So big challenges. But the innovation is pushing forward regardless. Let's flip to some of the really exciting trends. What's changing the game?
Well, one massive shift is moving to the cloud. Cloud-native systems, software as a service, or SaaS.
Right. That makes things much more scalable. You can manage things remotely.
Yeah.
And it often cuts down those huge upfront costs we talked about.
Exactly. SaaS models especially mean you get updates automatically, access to real-time analytics. It fits perfectly with how airports are trying to go digital.
And then there's the AI piece.
Yeah.
That feels like it's exploding.
It really is. AI-powered predictions and automation. It's not just like guessing passenger
Well,
numbers.
this is way beyond that.
It's AI reallocating security staff on the fly because cameras see queues getting too long, or instantly changing gate assignments during disruptions to help people make connections.
So it actively reduces bottlenecks.
Yes. Optimizes staff, makes the airport way more resilient when things go wrong. It just leads to much, much smarter decisions moment by moment.
And the last trend really hits home for the traveler.
Yeah.
Mobile interfaces.
Yeah.
Making things passenger-focused.
Yeah, AOMS now connect right into apps. For staff, sure, but also for you.
So real-time flight updates on your phone, knowing queue times for security or bags.
Yeah.
Self-service options.
It's not just about efficiency behind the scenes. It's about making your journey better. Less uncertainty, more control over your time at the airport.
So thinking back to our starting question, how do airports manage the chaos? It's clear these AOMS are central, but they're always evolving. It's this constant balancing act.
Definitely. A dance between amazing tech AI, cloud mobile stuff, and the tough realities of cost and getting everything to actually work together. Innovation versus operations.
A perpetual balancing act.
Which leads to a pretty interesting final thought, doesn't it? As these systems get even smarter, using more AI, more real-time data, how will they change things?
Beyond just optimizing our trips.
Yeah. Could they fundamentally redefine what we even expect from travel? Make it truly seamless, personalized? And could that influence ripple outwards, maybe even shaping how cities are planned or how emergency responses work well beyond the airport itself?
That is a powerful thought, something that goes way beyond just catching your next flight. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into this really fascinating intersection of technology and our everyday travel. Keep exploring, stay curious.
See you next time.